so I have a script that I started writing a long time ago, and it has gone through different versions as I've changed. The script has changed,
Yeah.
but it's a fantasy film that takes place in a post-apocalyptic fantasy type of world.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's called The Crystals and the Corn Girl. I've been
I
trying
like
to get
that.
that. Yeah, I've been trying to get it off. It's about a mute girl,
Oh, that's sweet.
and she basically enlists this shadow creature to help her revive her dead father figure.
Hmm.
And she goes across this landscape, and there's these three crystals that have these different powers, and the world has been like ravaged by a sickness, and at the same time, it's kind of turned back into tribal warfare. I
Hmm.
really love that story. I mean, like when I reread it now, it's like I always go like, oh, I got to do another draft of this. It needs money. It feels like it needs big money. When I say big money, I mean big by I could do it for a couple million, but can't do it at that $300,000 range. I'd love
Yeah.
to make that. I'd love to get back and do a very, very simple dirtbag crime noir. I love that. I love like Blood Simple. I'm a big Coen Brothers fan.
Hmm.
And so I love stuff like that, something that's really down to earth, really, really gritty, really minimalistic, not quite to the level of like No Country, because that's a much
Okay.
more cat and mouse movie, but
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
I love inept criminals. That's kind of my favorite thing. I grew up with a lot of like, I mean, I didn't grow up in a rough area or anything like that, but I grew up in a situation where everybody, took pride in the fact that they call themselves trash, and I
Hmm.
think that I'd like to do character stuff about that. I have a tennis movie that I really want to tell. It's about a retired tennis player, and dynamics with him and his brother, and about the family dynamic there. I want to shoot that in Wales, just because my
Oh,
mom
that's
lives in
cool.
Wales. And then the big one
That's
is
awesome.
yeah, and like I've been playing that one's called Shale, which is the layer underneath on a clay court, and
Oh, that's
that
awesome.
yeah, I haven't been able to quite put that one together. It just ends up being too long because it ends up being very talky. Trying to fit like finally develop that, but then if I could get into a series, I'd love to make a Final Fantasy. I really want to adapt to Final Fantasy. I love the Final Fantasy games, especially 6 through 10. With 10 being
Hmm.
my favorite, I'd love to do like a TV series of War of the Lions or something like that. I
Oh,
did
yeah.
yeah, and I did have before the Obi-Wan TV show, I did have an Obi-Wan idea where it was Obi-Wan coming out of like a one last job type of thing.
Nice.
And it was like Obi-Wan meets Star Wars meets the Seven Samurai. And so
Oh, that's dope.
I really, really wanted to do that. And then the Obi-Wan show came up, and I did not care for that show. And
I wanted to because I love that they were doing it.
I
And
said,
like, yeah, there were characters, there were things I was like, there's like gems in here, but overall, I
yeah,
really wasn't satisfied.
Ewan
Yeah.
McGregor is really, really good though. He does such a
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and that's
he's
what I was
amazing. Not his
yeah.
fault at all.
Yeah,
Horrible.
and
I didn't like the overall story. There were
yeah.
things where I was like, why would you do that? And yeah, that's like, but that's like you said earlier, right? They just want to make money. They don't really care what you as
Yeah.
fans, that's the problem recently, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And so I'd love to do something like that. And like I just said, I've got a Wolverine noir that I'm
That's
working on
awesome.
in my head. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different things that are there. So yes, one of those five or six I just mentioned.